And I'm here to talk about this EUK 134 0.1% formula. I have a suspicion that people will maybe be interested in buying it, but that most people won't have heard what it is. I certainly have never heard of it and had to research it, and that was very interesting for me. So I've spent a while looking into it. It's basically an antioxidant that is based on manganese. I know I usually read the description on the website and tell you what I think, but honestly, I said before, I do think that on the website the description of products from the Ordinary to Niod and Hylamide, etc., that they use too much sciencey language, and I feel like it should be more easily understood. And so, for example, the first sentence of what they're saying about this EUK is EUK 134 is a mimetic of superoxide dismutase and catalase, forming an exceptionally rare self-generating molecule that scavenges superoxide free radicals. I just think that that's something, it isn't going to mean much to the general public, and so I'm not sure that it's great to put it in the description. But of course that description's there if you want to go and read it, but I would interpret that as this is a very powerful antioxidant, and the two key things about it are, one, that it is self-regenerating, meaning that it doesn't run out on the skin. It keeps on working for as long as it's on your skin. It keeps on scavenging free radicals, and it keeps on working in the way that it should. And the second thing that I interpret from the research that I've seen and the description is that it seems to fill in the gaps where other antioxidants don't. It reaches the parts that other antioxidants don't reach. It seems to have this extra little protective action, and so it is quite an exciting ingredient. There is only two ingredients in this. There's propanediol and there is the EUK 134. This is a 0.1% formula, £6.90, which I think is really good for this. And the formula is very similar to the resveratrol and ferulic acid, except this one has a sort of coffee colour to it, whereas the other one is clear. But it's the same sort of oily feel, and it has that same sort of warming feel on the skin, but not quite as much as the resveratrol. This one feels a little bit oilier actually, and I'm wondering if the resveratrol and ferulic acid has three ingredients in it: resveratrol, ferulic acid and propanediol. This has two, propanediol and EUK. And so in my mind that may mean that there is more propanediol in this, and that would be why it feels a little bit more oily, and that would also be why I felt a little bit of stinging. When I used this the first time, I felt a little bit of stinging just here. I only put it up as far as here. A little bit of stinging here, a little bit here, and a little bit sort of on my cheeks here. And that may be why, because like I said before, there can be some sensitivity to propanediol, but it's not anything that's going to cause long-term damage. It's just not good to irritate your skin, obviously. The way to use this, it says to use alone or after water-based serums, but before oils or heavier creams. It says alternatively mix with other treatments to enhance their antioxidant capacity. Do not use with acidic formulations such as ascorbic acid. So you need to use this on alternate days, so you can't use it every day. I'm not sure why that is, but every other day it's recommended, and that may be because of the fact that it is self-regenerating, that it covers you for 2 days. You know, that may be it, but I don't know, because then it would say, if that was the case, it should say don't use acids for 2 days. Anyway, every other day, and you can't use acids with it. So you couldn't use it if you were using your vitamin C, you couldn't use it if you were using any of your glycolic acid before it, or salicylic acid. I don't know how it is with the other acids, such as ferulic acid. I'm pretty sure it would be all right with hyaluronic acid. I think it's talking about strong acids, but I'm not sure. I think it's just things like ascorbic acid, retinoic acid, so you couldn't use it with your retinoids probably, and like the BHAs and AHAs. I found one study of significance, and it was a topical study that did show that this has a really good protection to it. It was a really well formulated study actually. I'll try and remember and link it. somebody has mentioned before that they wish I would link to the things that I refer to in my videos, to the research. And that would be a professional way of doing things, would be to cite everything that I've talked about. But I honestly look at so many different websites, and it's not always, there's not always just one study I'm looking at. In fact, very rarely. I'm looking at many different studies. I'm also looking at the public's view, you know, looking at blogs, and it would make it almost impossible for me to try and, every time I was looking at something, copy that link and save it for later, and it would make, the description would be massively long. The point of this is kind of that I'm summarising what I've read. Anyway, the point is, on this there is one study, and in that study they topically put some EUK 134 on the skin an hour before sending people into the sun or being exposed to UV, and then tested, and there were less, I guess, free radicals, to put it in a simple way. The only thing I would say is that there is that one study, and there's a few other lab studies that, you know, haven't been tested topically or in humans, but that one study was using it at 0.05%. So although this is 0.1%, I don't know why the decision was made to double the strength of the only study out there. I don't know whether that's, I wonder if it would have been better to leave it at 0.05% as per the research and then use it every day rather than 0.1% every other day. I don't know if it works like that. That's just me chatting, if you like, about the study. But I just found it interesting that they are using more. They say that on their website, that this is the highest concentration of any skincare out there, because this is in other products by, I think it was Skin Oracle, and there was one other one that I saw that they were hugely expensive. 0.1% is high, and like I said, this study was done on half that amount. And normally you find that the level that's done in studies, that the formulations that then go on sale are normally a lot less than that. So in the morning you put on your SPF, which protects you from the UV rays, and then you maybe add in an antioxidant which helps with that protection and helps to prevent free radicals and environmental damage. The EUK is just like vitamin C in that way. It's an antioxidant, and it helps to scavenge the free radicals and protect the cells from cell damage. And like I said, it seems to me that this sort of slots in neatly with other antioxidants that are extremely potent and useful, but this seems to just have that edge of it does things in a slightly different way, so it's like giving you all-round protection, all-round antioxidant protection. I still feel like you would use this with something else if you could. The problem with that is you can't mix this with vitamin C. I don't know how keen I'd be to just use this on its own. However, with the fact that you use it on alternate days would work out okay, because the way I'm using it at the moment is one morning I'll use this underneath my SPF, and then the following morning I'll be using my vitamin C 30% in silicone plus resveratrol and ferulic acid, and do it that way so that you're getting a variety of antioxidants. And also remember that antioxidants continue working when you're not in the sun. You know, it doesn't just work when you're out exposed to UV rays. So my conclusion on this is, I've said that it's inconvenient because of having to use it every other day, because that's something that you then have to remember. Did I use it yesterday? Did I not? Until you get into the habit. And also because of the not mixing it with acids, that's something you could easily forget. You know, you could be using retinol and forget that that's an acid, and you need to not use this with it. But other than that, I would say that the research is really interesting and really promising. Obviously there needs to be more research on this, definitely on, they always seem to, a product is found and it's found to have a good effect, and then it's used for that for years, and then somebody finds a not so great side effect from it, and then that comes out, you know. Something I'm actually going to talk about in the video on the Hyaluronide Glow, talking about the tanning ingredient. So there's definitely more research needed, but I'm going to use up this bottle because I think it's a really useful thing to have on my skin. And I'm going to just see how I get on with it. You know, I'm going to use it every other day, as I explained. If you have a very simple morning routine, i.e. you just put on SPF, and even if you put on vitamin C, I would say yes, it would be worth you getting this and just slot this in every other day. So one day use vitamin C, one day use this. Just be careful if you do have sensitive skin, because I don't consider my skin overly sensitive, but like I said, I did have that little bit of stinging around my face when using this, so be aware of that. And if you've already used the resveratrol, you might know that, because like I said, I think if you had a reaction, it may be to the propanediol, maybe not, maybe to this EUK. That's the thing. There's not enough known about it to know if it causes allergies or if it causes sensitivity. That's everything. It's a bit of an unknown territory really, but that's as much information as I can give you. Let me know if you've used this, what you think of it so far. There's not really anything that you'll see as a result. You know, you're not going to see any differences really in your skin, but I think it's a nice enough product to use. It doesn't have a scent to me. I'm discovering from all of the comments that so many people have so many different types of smell. What was the product? There was a review that just went up. I think it was the hydration vaccine. I can't remember, but a product just went up and somebody said to me that to them it smells a little bit banana-y. And I thought, well, thank God it doesn't to me, because I can't stand the smell of bananas. And if it smelled like bananas, I wouldn't be able to use it. And so I'm really lucky with that, but they're not so lucky in that, you know, rosehip oil smells like fish. It's really interesting how different people smell different things from it, you know. That's everything. Makeup, isn't this eye makeup amazing? This eyeshadow is just gorgeous. This is from Nabla Cosmetics and it's called Alchemy. I kept looking at it this morning so that I could remember to tell you, and I'd forget it, honestly. I'd say it to myself, look at it, put it down, and then a few minutes later I'd be like, what is that again? Alchemy. It's definitely called Alchemy by Nabla Cosmetics. The foundation I'm wearing is the Bare Minerals Bare Pro in 05 Sateen. That's the colour that I have bought. Love this foundation, really, really enjoying it. And blush is Urban Decay Obsessed. Lipstick is Too Faced Child Star, and that's everything. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll speak to you again soon.